Hi everyone, my name is Savannah Eaton. I will be presenting on Solid Foundations Providing Mentoring Program to Early Educators in Leflore County, Mississippi. During Capstone 2, I had the privilege of starting this research with Amanda Higgins, Jessica Beidelman, Shannon Black, and Kelly Carmen. What is so important about early education? Early education has been linked to many significant outcomes that extend all the way into adulthood and influence the society as a whole. Some of these outcomes include advanced cognitive development and language skills, greater academic achievement in schools, an increased chance of attending and graduating a four-year college, higher motor skills, and higher social-emotional functioning. There have been many studies that defend the importance of early childhood education, especially for those children that are living in poverty. Two studies in particular include the Abecedarian Project and a project done by the Chicago Child Parent Center program. The Abecedarian Project was a study done that included over 100 children under the age of 5 living in poverty. The children were divided into two groups. One group received a high-quality intervention, and a second group, the control group, did not receive the quality intervention. The control group received other services to ensure that the educational interventions were the only differences between these two groups. Some of these included things such as health services. The participants were tested at age 12, 15, and 21. The results showed that the children who received intervention services scored higher on tests, performed better in reading and in math, and were more likely to be in college. In addition to more years of education, the participants in this program were more likely to be employed in a skilled profession. The second longitudinal experiment was done by the Chicago Child Parent Center program. This study looked at children in preschool through third grade that received early intervention. 2 years after the intervention was completed, participants were checked on. Children that received intervention performed higher in reading and in math. Their teachers also spoke high in regards to their adjustment in school. Participants were also followed up with after they completed high school. Children who experienced the intervention on average had more years of schooling completed and lower rates of arrest. There are many other studies that defend the importance of quality early education. However, these are two of the most prominent. This chart breaks down long-term academic outcomes from attending preschool. These results are from the Abecedarian program. We see that children who did not attend preschool were more likely to receive special education services, more likely to repeat a grade, less likely to graduate from high school, and less likely to attend a four-year college. James Heckman, using this graph, shows his understanding that the earlier we invest in our children, the more of a return to that investment is received. This graph shows that the higher return comes from prenatal programs, followed by programs targeted towards the earliest years for children, followed by preschool programs, schooling, and job training. Not only does quality early education have great outcomes for the individuals who receive it, it also has great long-term outcomes for our society as a whole. Research supports the idea that children who receive quality early education are more likely to perform higher academically and attend college. This increases the chances of employment and then contributes positively to our economy. On the other hand, children were less likely to repeat a grade in school, less likely to become incarcerated, or received welfare benefits, things that cost a large amount of money. According to Rolnick and Grunwald, the amount of contributions that adults make to their society can be linked back to their experiences as children. 90% of our brain is developed by the age of 5. If we invest in a child's brain development during the first 5 years of their life, we are investing in society's future. Depending on the outcomes of different studies, the investment per dollar put into early childhood education is typically somewhere between $4 and $12. The achievement gap explains that differences in academic performance that children from different incomes experience. Throughout the United States, students who live in poverty are performing significantly lower than their middle and upper class peers. Students coming from poverty are not offered the same opportunities in school, extracurriculars, and the quality of education is lower, starting as early childhood education. The achievement gap starts before a child even walks through the school on their first day of kindergarten. In order to close this gap, it is crucial to start early. Children from low socioeconomic status are hearing less than half the amount of words than their middle to upper class peers hear by the age of 3. So early education is important, and it is really necessary that we invest in it. So where is the best place to start? Research shows that only 10% of students from low-income families are receiving a quality education. Students attending low-income schools are receiving less funding, and therefore, the schools are not able to support their teachers as much as schools with more funding. In low socioeconomic status areas, 61% of new teachers, specifically in rural areas, felt ill-prepared to teach their students. Children living in poverty are more likely to have a teacher with less experience than middle and upper class children. This also contributes to teacher turnover rate. Schools in low-income areas have a teacher turnover rate that is 50% higher than schools in middle to upper class areas. Every 5 years, schools are losing half of their teaching staff, which costs more money for the school district with things such as recruitment funding and new teacher training. So teachers in these schools are not prepared, they're not supported, and they're not properly compensated. So they end up leaving the school district. Then replacing them as brand new teachers, becoming a cycle. Teacher support is critical for improvement in early childhood quality. So why Mississippi? As you see from this map, 71% of students in Mississippi's public schools are from low-income families. This is the highest percent of children living in poverty in the United States. The national average is 51%. So we know that Mississippi children are receiving the lowest amount of quality education in our country. Specifically, Leflore County proves to have a high need for quality early education. Leflore County is a school district located in the Mississippi Delta. According to Mississippi Accountability System Report Card, Leflore County received an F in their annual review. Only 73% of their teachers were considered to be highly qualified, and there was little funding found that was directed towards educational opportunities for teachers and/or trainings for their employees, whether that be brand new teachers or experienced teachers. In addition, in Mississippi, children are twice as likely to repeat a grade in school. This number almost doubles if the child lives in poverty. 20% of children ages 6 through 11 in Mississippi repeated one grade in 2005. Means out of every 5 children, 1 of them will repeat a grade. So we suggest that in order to increase teachers' abilities and their confidence in their teaching, which would then contribute to retaining teachers and better instruction, Leflore County must implement a mentor program. If teachers feel supported, they are more likely to perform better, and children have a greater chance of success. Teachers must be teaching at least 5 years to qualify as a mentor. According to Garvey, not only will new teachers benefit from this relationship, but mentors will also benefit. This first figure represents an informal relationship between an experienced teacher and a new teacher. This would be through casual conversations where no real outlines have been created or provided for the teachers. The protege will continue to increase in competency to a certain point until both the mentor and the protege plateau in their competence. On the other hand, figure 2 shows that when a formal mentor relationship is established with specific guidelines to follow, both the mentor and the protege continue to increase their competency. Kentucky currently has a required mentor program referred to as Kentucky Teacher Internship Program. This model uses continued professional development for their teachers, and it has proven to improve teaching skills as well as increase teacher retention throughout the schools in the state. KTIP is a year-long program that requires 20 hours of in-class mentoring hours and 40 hours of out-of-class mentoring hours. In-class hours could consist of activities such as in-class observations. This would include the mentor observing the mentee, as well as the mentee observing the mentor. This could also include observing each other's students in workshops and seeing how the teachers use technology in their instruction. Out-of-class mentoring would include activities such as discussing Kentucky framework for teaching, working to develop lesson plans, role-playing possible parent-teacher conferences or teacher-children conferences, and discussing potential discipline problems. Have you ever experienced a mentor program? How did it help you in your position? Were there any negative components involved? If you have not ever been a part of a mentorship program, how do you think that it would have benefited you? Do you think there would have been any challenges that you would have faced? We propose that Leflore County implements the mentorship by identifying the teachers who have been teaching over 5 years to be a mentor. The teachers will then be matched with the mentee. This can be done based on a variety of components depending on school personnel's preference. This could be such as school site, grade level, personality, or other combinations within the district. The mentorship will last 3 years, and guidelines will be presented to the teachers. Teachers in the first year of teaching will meet with their mentor once a week. This will be a scheduled arrangement that will happen throughout the year. The mentorship will continue to fade out each year. Second-year teachers will meet with their mentor bi-weekly. And by the third year, teachers will meet with their mentor once a month. The hope is that this relationship is authentic and new teachers are able to support on situations as they arrive. However, specific guidelines on certain topics will be provided to help facilitate the relationship. Some of these guidelines will include classroom management, direct classroom instruction, lesson planning, improvement plans, and assistance with conferences. The goal of fading this out is in hopes of by the third year, new teachers do not feel that they need a mentor anymore and they feel confident in their teaching abilities. In addition to educational components, this relationship can provide support to teachers who are new to a rural area. Many teachers express their concern living in this new area, in addition to their teaching instruction. Teachers are required to obtain professional development hours. This program will help contribute to these hours for both the mentor and the mentee. Due to budget, mentors will start this program on a volunteer basis. Professional development hours being met will be part of the incentives for the mentors. This relationship will give mentors that opportunity to display their own experience and expertise while fulfilling personal and professional growth. For mentees, we hope that they will feel supported as they embark on their first year in education, and that they will continue to stay in their position to lower teacher turnover rate. Overall, students will receive a higher quality of teaching with teachers who are consistent, and the children are not continually provided with brand new, inexperienced teachers. By investing in this program, we are investing in our children. Mississippi has the highest amount of children living in poverty compared to the rest of the country. And if we want to break this cycle, quality education must be provided. Teachers who feel more supported are able to better support their children. And these successes will help the quality of education in Leflore County as well as improve student outcomes. So as you listen to this presentation, how do you feel about a mentorship relationship for teachers? What other suggestions do you think would benefit the outcomes of early education? On this slide, you will see the policy brief that was created for a mentorship program in Leflore County, Mississippi during Capstone 2. This concludes the presentation. Thank you.